attention. Keir Starmer got a lead over Boris's botched speech banning MPs from taking second jobs. Sir Keir Starmer has claimed Labour forced Boris Johnson's back against the wall after the Prime Minister moved to ban MPs from taking second jobs. Sir Keir heralded a significant victory for the Labour Party after Mr Johnson released a letter sent to Commons Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle which has called for the code of conduct of MPs to be updated in order to restore the confidence of the public. It comes as MPs this afternoon voted to undo a Commons motion voted through the chamber on November 3, ending 2 weeks of Tory sleaze allegations in the wake of the Owen Paterson and Sir Geoffrey Cox scandals. The Labour leader said, "We have had 2 weeks of Tory sleaze and corruption. And be under no illusion the Prime Minister has only done this because his back is against a wall. Because we the Labour Party have put down a binding vote for tomorrow." Sir Keir suggested instead that Mr Johnson's plans to ban MPs from working as paid political consultants or lobbyists was a significant victory for the Labour Party. Conservatives were whipped to create a new appeals process for those found guilty of breaking M.P.'s rules if a vote 2 weeks ago. In the face of public backlash, the government quickly U-turned on the decision and said it would scrap its plans. Ever since Mr Johnson has been bombarded with uncomfortable questions and polling over his handling of the issue. The government faced repeated accusations of corrupt behaviour and of one rule for us, another for everyone else following the scandal. Mr Johnson has admitted he could have handled the row better following the government's ill-fated move to halt the suspension of Tory backbencher Owen Paterson. Mr Paterson was found guilty of having lobbied the government on behalf of firms who employed him as a consultant. The attempt to reform the system, and subsequent U-turn from the government less than 24 hours later, intensified the spotlight on M.P.'s second jobs and their expenses claims. The Prime Minister had hoped to move on from the row last night, with plans for a motion undoing proposed reforms set to be nodded through the House, passing without a formal vote. But his attempts to put the sleaze scandal behind him was thrown into disarray when Tory MP Christopher Chope blocked the bid, forcing a full debate on the matter this afternoon. Theresa May warned of the damage caused to all MPs and Parliament by Prime Minister's attempts to change the system as she urged members to back the motion undoing the proposals. She told the Commons, "Passing this motion will be a step in the right direction but it will not undo the damage that has been done by the vote of November 3. Let's be clear, this is not a party political issue. Damage has been done to all members of Parliament and to Parliament as a whole." Sir Keir claimed, "It would not have happened if we had not put down that binding vote. This is a Prime Minister who has shown no leadership whatsoever. It is a step forward in standards in public life." In the letter to the Speaker, Mr Johnson said, "An MP's primary role is, and must be, to serve their constituents and to represent their interests in Parliament." He went on to suggest that the Code of Conduct should be updated so that Parliament continues to command the trust of the public. There is currently no limit on the number of hours an MP can earn for outside work. This would see a ban of second jobs held by MPs for paid lobbying and consultancy work. Any change will require a formal vote in the House of Commons. The move follows the resignation of former North Shropshire Conservative MP Owen Paterson, who was found by the Commons Standards Committee to have been in an egregious breach of standards expected of MPs. MPs approved the motion without the need for a formal vote. Labour's Sir Keir Starmer has witnessed a boost from the row and has seen Labour top the polls for the first time since January. Multiple polls over the past week have given the opposition a lead over the government following the fallout from the sleaze row. Looking to capitalise on the chaos it has plunged the government into, tomorrow the party will hold a Commons vote banning MPs from holding certain second jobs. Sir Keir said he was looking to end dodgy lobbying. While the Prime Minister has failed to act, Labour is taking the lead by giving MPs the chance to end the sort of dodgy lobbying that Owen Paterson was guilty of. It should be a point of consensus that paid directorships and commercial consultancies are not jobs for MPs. The only people MPs should be lobbying for is their constituents, he said. It was the Prime Minister's decisions which has led to this scandal. He has repeatedly failed in his leadership over this issue.